coin validator working. I've spent hours on this thing with real problems programming it, problems with it getting it working, one thing and another. Half my fault, some of it the programmer's fault. It didn't come as default, but anyway, I'm going to post another video shortly of how to program this thing. I've currently got it programmed so that basically it'll send one pulse down the output line if I'm putting a pound in. It'll send 2 pulses for a 2p. It'll send 3 pulses for a 5p, and so on, graduating upwards. Dead easy, the connection. I've shown it in other videos, but basically I've got the red wire there is the 12 volt, black wire there is the ground, and the white wire is the coin pulse. So that's the wire that the pulses are coming out of. The grey wire isn't mentioned in the instruction manuals, and I can't find it anywhere on the internet, so I have no idea what the grey wire is doing. That's been fed into an Arduino anyway, so the white count wire, or coin wire I should say, is going to the Arduino. I've got another wire over there, pin, which is just a common ground, because I've got the coin acceptor running off a 12 volt supply. Code's dead straightforward. I'm saying it's straightforward, it took me ages to sort of figure it out, but I'm pretty new to Arduino in code in general. So basically I've got an interrupt. I'll just go back up to that interrupt. So there I've got the interrupt, attach interrupt to pin number 1, or interrupt 1, and I want it to call coin pulse function when there hits a rising edge. So basically when I feel a pulse I want it to call coin pulse function. So we'll go down to coin pulse function, and in coin pulse function there's 2 bits here. What was easy, I could get it to count the pulses, but what I couldn't do is get it to differentiate between banks of pulses. So for example, was it 1 pulse on its own, was it 5 pulses, was it 2 pulses? So the way I did it was this, and it used some help off the Arduino forum, but basically I used millis to record the current time in a variable pulse time. So millis is recorded in pulse time, and then back up in the main loop. So back up in the main loop, if the coin pulse count, so if there's a current pulse count and it's greater than 0, so if there is actually a pulse count, and at the same time that there's a pulse count, so I've put a coin in, and if millis, the current time, minus the pulse time is greater than 200, so basically if there's been a bigger gap than 200 milliseconds, I know for a fact that that bank of pulses must be over, because those pulses come really quickly. I think I could actually probably reduce that. It says in the manual 60 milliseconds. So in theory I suppose I could reduce it to near to that. But I'm happy there, because you're not going to get 8 coins put in any quicker than that. So basically it means that that bank of pulses must be over. So what I'm going to do then is put the coin pulse count in the new coin inserted. So that number is going to go to new coin inserted, and if new coin inserted equals 1, so basically if there's been a pulse of 1, I'm going to print a pound. If there's been a pulse of 2, I'm going to print 2p. If there's been a pulse of 3, 5p, and I can do different things depending on what coin's been inserted. If I pull up the serial monitor, here we go, and it's just told me what input I've got. So I'm going to try and put some coins in for you. I'm going to put 2p in. And oops, sorry, my fault, missed the gap. There we go, 2p inserted. Put 5p in for you. 5p inserted. 10p inserted. What was that? 50p. Pound. There we go, pound inserted. Put another 2p in. And I'll just show you as well for the unprogrammed coin. So here I've got that's an old 2p by the way, which is why it was really rejected. I'll put a penny in, and hopefully it'll reject this penny. There you go, it's rejected the penny. So it all looks to be working. The beauty about this code now, I've seen quite a few codes on the internet using one of these, but it doesn't differentiate between the banks of pulses. All it does is keep adding up in multiples of 10s or multiples of a certain unit. Whereas with this code, what it's actually doing is checking what pulse has been has gone through the machine, or what coin's gone through the machine, and then I'll be able to do different things. Of course, this is all building up to being able to dispense 10p coins and making a change machine. Okay, hopefully it's useful to somebody in the world at some point.